Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to use oil pastels and kind of a little preview to the project we're going to be doing next. What we're going to be doing is creating an abstract piece of artwork, but we're going to be using pastels in kind of a gradation or a blending fashion. So what we're doing is we're taking one color, transitioning to another color, and creating a blended look so that we don't have stark lines between each color. You're going to be able to blend colors together, so like this blends orange with yellow and we get a yellow-orange in the center. Or you can think about it more in terms of light to dark, so a light blue, a medium blue, and a dark blue. Today what you're going to be doing is just a practice sheet to kind of gear up for our pastel project, which will be something like this. This is an abstract piece of artwork. So when I talk about abstract, I mean that the beauty and the aesthetic value of the artwork comes from the elements and principles of art. So it's coming from the lines and the colors and the shapes. It's not coming from something that looks like a dog or a landscape. There's really no recognizable images. We can see some shapes and stuff, but the message is not so noticeable. So what we're gearing up for is to create a piece of artwork where within each area that we create, we're creating a gradation or a transition with our pastel. So you can see here we have our lights, our mediums, and a dark green. We could also do a transition of blue to purple to pink. So it's kind of about finding what colors work well together. When you're thinking about what colors you want to use, you want to start looking or remembering back to the color wheel. So any colors that are next to each other, which are analog colors, would work great because these colors go together and they are made up of each other. So if you did blue, blue, green, and green, those would look nice. It'd be a nice transition and blending together. You could pick red and yellow because in the middle of that we would be creating an orange value. What you want to avoid is doing colors that are complementary to each other, which means that they're right across or opposite. So blue and orange, anytime you have a pair of complementary colors, you're going to create brown, and that's what we want to avoid. So don't pick blue and orange because in the middle it will create brown. Same with red and green, violet and yellow, and then any of these tertiary combinations. So just kind of think about that. So you're going to be doing a practice sheet today, which looks like this. And let me show you how to use these pastels. The pastels, we have two brands. We have these Pentels, which are up here, they're the smaller ones, and we have some Crayola ones, which are maybe not as artsy looking, but they work well. What's important about oil pastels is that they are an oil based, so to get them out of your clothes might be a little tricky, so just be careful if you're wearing anything white or nice. Just try to avoid getting this on you, and always check your chairs when you come into the classroom because people are a mess and you don't want to sit on it and have a big squished green mark on your butt. Okay, so you're going to pick your colors. I'm going to do, we'll try these Crayolas. I'm going to start with a red and a yellow. And you are always going to start with your darker color. So I'm just going to work on the circle here. I'm going to put down some of my red, and you want a nice thick layer. So I don't want to see any of the white paper showing through. So really cover the paper nicely to about halfway. Then I'm going to pick my second color, and I'm choosing yellow because red and yellow will create orange. And what I forgot to mention before we start this is that you want to check your pastels before you use them, especially the lighter colors. For instance, this pretty blue here is disgusting. It has colors all over it. So you really want to check them before you use them. And you can either just clean them by taking a scrap paper and kind of rolling the tip around, or you can grab a piece of paper towel and clean it off that way, just so it doesn't mess up your color. Because if you have red on here, you're going to be creating brown, which is not what you want to do. So check your pastels first. Okay, so I'm bringing my second color, my light color, up, and I'm bringing it into my darker color. And I'm kind of just using a swirling fashion. And I might have to loosen up on the pressure too, because I don't want to move and get rid of my color or bring too much of the red down, but I do want to combine them so there's no stark lines. And I will show you an example of what a stark line is before you get started. So I do that. Sometimes you might have to come back with your darker color and fix it up a little bit. And my yellow is getting pretty trashed again, so I'm going to do a little clean off so I have some fresh yellow showing. And kind of swirl things together. Okay, so that's 2 colors. The other option is to do a triple color. So I'm going to do a dark green, a light green, let's see, and a super dark green. So again, you're going to start with your dark color. I have my dark green. I'm going to lay that color in first and make sure the paper is covered. And this is just practice, so if you go outside the lines, whatever. Then I'm going to go to my medium green, bring that up and kind of swirl the line there so they blend together, maybe loosening up on my pressure a little bit. Then I would take my third color, my light color, and bring that up to meet my medium by swirling back and forth. Sometimes you can even bring the super light color all the way up to help you blend. Okay, so there's my transition of 3. So you're gonna do 5 different combinations in here to just kind of play around with the colors. And just like I said, be careful, don't get these on the ground or on your clothes. If you do drop one, please pick it up as soon as possible because they will smush into the ground and make a huge, ginormous mess. One other thing you want to avoid is using your finger to blend. Your finger has oil on it. It holds onto oil as well, so if you use your finger, you'll start pulling up the pigment. We want all the pigment to stay onto the paper. So don't use your finger, don't use a paper towel, just simply use the actual pastel to blend, and always the lighter color. Okay, good luck.